Imagine an empire so powerful its walls were legendary, its culture the envy of the world. This was Babylon, an ancient superpower that seemed invincible. Yet, in a single night, it vanished from the world stage. How could a city, fortified to withstand any siege, fall without a fight? The story of Babylon's collapse is more than just history. It's a chilling tale of strategy, betrayal, and the hidden vulnerabilities that bring down even the mightiest giants. Our story begins at the zenith of Babylonian power under the reign of its most famous king, Nebuchadnezzar II. This wasn't just a military juggernaut, it was the cultural and scientific heart of the ancient world. The Hanging Gardens, one of the seven wonders, were a testament to its engineering genius. Its ziggurats pierced the heavens, and its astronomers mapped the stars with astonishing accuracy. Babylon was more than a city. It was a symbol of absolute dominance, a golden cup in the Lord's hand, as the scriptures say. Its massive double walls, complete with moats and countless watchtowers, were said to be impenetrable. To the people of the time, Babylon was eternal. But beneath this shimmering golden surface, cracks were beginning to form. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a unifier. His reputation preceded him. As he turned his gaze toward Mesopotamia, the world held its breath. The stage was set for a clash of titans. Cyrus the Great was no fool. He knew that a direct head-on assault against Babylon's legendary walls would be a costly, bloody, and likely futile endeavor. It could take years, draining his resources and army. So he developed a master plan, one that relied not on brute force, but on cunning intelligence, and exploiting the enemy's overconfidence. His spies and scouts identified Babylon's greatest strength, mighty Euphrates River that flowed right through the center of the city, as its ultimate weakness. He would not break down the walls, he would simply walk under them. This was a plan that required perfect timing, secrecy, and a little bit of luck. Here's how the genius strategy worked. The Euphrates River was the lifeblood of Babylon, providing water and a key defensive barrier. But it also passed under the city walls through massive water gates. Cyrus's plan was audacious: to divert the entire river. Upstream from Babylon, he ordered his engineers to dig a massive canal and a basin, effectively creating a man-made lake. The goal was to redirect the flow of the Euphrates into this basin, causing the water level within the city to drop dramatically. It would fall so low that his soldiers could simply wade through the riverbed, go under the water gates, and enter the city unopposed. It was an incredible feat of engineering and military planning, targeting the one vulnerability the Babylonians never thought to guard. The night chosen for the attack was no accident. It was the night of a grand religious festival. Ancient sources, including the Greek historian Herodotus and the biblical book of Daniel, describe the city as being in a state of revelry. The new king Belshazzar, who was ruling as co-regent for his father Nabonidus, was hosting a massive feast. The city was drunk, distracted, and complacent. They believed their walls were their salvation. As the Babylonians celebrated, Cyrus's army made its move. The river was diverted, the water level dropped, and the Persian soldiers quietly marched into the riverbed. To their astonishment, they found the inner water gates. The ones leading from the riverbank into the city streets had been left unlocked and unguarded. The city slept, completely unaware that its doom was walking right through its front door. What followed was one of the most surreal events in military history. There was no great battle, no siege engines smashing against the walls, no heroic last stand at the gates. The Persian army fanned out into the city, meeting almost no resistance. By the time most Babylonians woke up, the city was already lost. The shock must have been profound. One moment they were the center of the world, protected by gods and impenetrable walls. The next, they were subjects of a new empire. The speed and silence of the conquest sent a ripple of awe and fear throughout the ancient world. The eternal city had fallen in a single bloodless night. So why did no one fight? Why did this proud, powerful city surrender so easily? The answer lies in the city's internal decay. The king Nabonidus and his son Belshazzar were deeply unpopular. Their religious policies had angered the priests of Marduk, who held immense sway over the populace. Many Babylonians, from the priests to the common folk, had lost their loyalty to the crown. They felt abandoned by their leaders. In fact, some historical accounts suggest that disillusioned elements within Babylon may have actively collaborated with the Persians, helping them by leaving the gates open. To many, Cyrus was not a conqueror, but a liberator who would restore their traditions and bring stability. Cyrus masterfully played this role. Upon entering the city, he didn't pillage or destroy. Instead, he presented himself as the chosen one of Marduk, the very god the Babylonian king had neglected. He issued proclamations declaring that he was restoring traditional worship and respecting the city's customs. This was a public relations masterpiece. He allowed exiled peoples, including the Jews who had been captive in Babylon for decades, to return to their homelands and rebuild their temples. By positioning himself as a benevolent restorer rather than a brutal conqueror, he won the hearts and minds of the Babylonian people, ensuring a smooth transition of power. A new era had begun. The fall of Babylon was a monumental turning point in world history. It marked the end of the Neo-Babylonian Empire and the true beginning of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, which would become the largest empire the world had yet seen.